Hey guys, welcome to my video. Welcome to another devlog of Edenville. I hope you guys are doing great. I'm doing wonderful on this day. I believe it's been about a month, guys. A month since the last time I've uploaded a video here on this channel. I don't really like that. I really like the way that I did it before when I was doing it like every weekend or so. But my side job is just taking most of my time, but I'm still working on this project, so no worries there. It's just going a little bit slower pace than usual. So, but I guess it's a good time to do my plugin in here and just say that if you guys are enjoying these videos, enjoying my channel, and you haven't subscribed or liked any of my videos, feel free to like them and subscribe for future videos here. And it does help me out a lot, especially with the YouTube algorithm. It's never usually on my side, but it will definitely help me out if you're able to subscribe and like the videos. It's not necessary, but it is very much appreciated. And also another thing, to do this more often, I would like to be able to put more dedication and more time to this project like I used to. And if any of you guys are able to, it's not necessary, but if you guys are able to, you guys can also donate on the links below, either to if you want to buy me a coffee website, or if you want to support through Patreon. I do have some things there as well if you want to check them out. Like I said, it's not necessary for you guys to do that. I will figure it out. I'll keep doing what I'm doing, but we really would love to be able to do this more full time and be able to dedicate it 100% on this project. We'd also love to do some live streams in here, like every Monday or so, and be able to do a live stream so you guys can see what I'm doing when I'm working on this project and all of that. But yeah, I would love your support. If you guys are able to, it's not necessary, but it will definitely help me out and be able to bring more videos into the channel and be able to give you guys more stuff. But like I said, it's not necessary. I will figure it out, guys. I was just gonna keep working hard and be able to work a little bit on this project on the side, if anything. So I appreciate you guys. And another thing, I also opened my Discord. Finally got a chance to tweak it and be able to have it open to the public now. So if any of you guys are interested in joining the Discord, and the link is in the description, and you guys can, there's a bunch of different channels that I added so that you guys can talk about stuff and the projects that you guys working on, if any of you guys are, and be able to chat. The link is in the description for anybody who's interested. So cool. And also Patreon will have their own special Discord channels as well. Other than that, it's open to the public. I finally got a chance to get that in there, but cool. Anyways, guys, it's been going on for too long. I want to continue with this video. What I want to talk to you guys about today, about this project. Like I said, I've been busy and I haven't had a chance to work on this too much, but I have made additional things in here. And since it's been about a month since I haven't done a video, I wanted to give you guys what I've been working on so far, at least even if it's a little bit. I'll probably go a little bit more technical if anything, but yeah, let's just dive into it. In the last video, towards at the end, I mentioned that I was working on the character and changing it a little bit so that you have things where it can hold items. It can also have things that you can swing things and all of that for all the different sides. So there's some things that I needed to add. So let's have some different animations in here. So I added that to the game. I briefly had it last time, but what I mean when I've added it into the game. So as I mentioned last time, I had this layout that has all the different things. But now when it comes to holding items and all of that, I moved it over to this side. Or I don't know if I show you guys this, but this hold items here is basically a node that is gonna be wherever the hand is located. Go to animations here. So you got this, and then you have this node that follows the hand at all times, no matter what, and it also handles the C index. So depending on which side you're looking, if it's forward or backwards, it changes the C index. So the items that it's holding, it's gonna be in the correct index. And any items that the player's gonna be holding is gonna be in here within the child of the hand items, which is, this either can be a fishing rod or any sprite tools. Sprite tools are like the hoe, the watering can. Maybe in the future when I start adding the axe and any attacking items, basically when I have time to implement that. everything will go into under as a child, so that every time he's like it's gonna be holding something, it's gonna be here, and this node will always be following the hand item. So I can show you that in a little bit, and how that works when he's now the player could be holding a torch. It wasn't like before, I was just free floating in the air and just following the player, but now it actually is on the hand. Due to that, I made some updates to the animations for the player so that he can handle this case for fishing rod, and for the hoe, and when watering with the watering can, and any other items that the players can be holding. So let me just pause the animation and I can show you guys in game. So let's load the game. Let's go to my first one here. I'll also fix the crash. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I remember that crashed when I was creating a new file or whatever, and it was crashing. I fixed that already. I figured out the issue with that. Oh yeah, so if I go out here and I say I select my hoe, now I can go here and you can see the actual player actually holding the hoe and be able to till the soil on either side. So forward and back too. The back side you're probably not going to see that well because it's blocking the entire thing, but you can actually see it. So same thing with watering can. I love the way that it kind of animates down. I don't know if that should be good. Either should it do this kind of animation, or should it automatically, like, how do you say it, automatically move to that location? I don't know if I want to. So if you check the hoe right now, it kind of like slowly tries to blend within each of the pixels, right, rather than automatically switching to that location. I don't know if I like that or not, or if it's okay, because each of them has 3 animations. I don't know if it should smoothly rotate to there, or should it be automatically rotated. But anyway, I think it looks pretty nice, so I'm probably ain't gonna keep it that way. And then we gonna do the pond or whatever to show you guys the fishing rod a little bit. I also, since we're here, I also implemented a sprinting. Before, you know, you were just walking super slow, but now you're able to sprint. I don't have an animation on it just yet for the player to like start running or jogging or whatever, but eventually I will add that. But as you can see, you know, this is a normal speed, and then this is the fast speed right here. So let's throw my fishing rod over here, and as you saw, you can see him, like the animations that he had when he was throwing the fishing rod. Let's get this fish real quick. Come on, buddy. I know you don't want to get caught. Cool. And now I need to fix that, but now it has like, oh, hey, the player faces the camera and it shows the fish off a little bit. So cool. So let's release it back, and it release back, and then it just fades away. Cool. But you can see the animation on the player for the fishing rod, and now it looks kind of cool now with the different type of the animations the player has. So it looks like he's actually going to be throwing it, and then you're able to throw it. Boom. All right, so we're back here at the beginning. So basically that's what are the animations that I've added to the player for the different type of actions that the player can be doing for what it has right now. So the fishing rod, the tilling the soil, for the hoe, the watering can, and holding items, which is one we could be showing you with the torch. I do gotta create another sprite for the torch, because this is a really short torch, right, or whatever. It's gotta have that long handle or whatever. But yeah, I think with this animation, it will bring up future things that will make it a lot easier. So when I bring in the axe or like any fighting tools and all of that, be kind of cool to already have that in place like it is right now. So all right, so another thing is when showing you the other one with the torch, but I make some modifications to the cave. It's still a work in progress, but it looks pretty cool, I think. So let's get in here real quick. So I changed the cave to be a little bit more, I mentioned before, I wanted it to be a little bit more foggy and all of that. And I don't know if I gotta, I don't know, I'm still trying to tweak it, you know. I'm liking it, but then I don't know yet. What do you guys think? Do you guys like this a little bit? Does it feel cool to you guys? Just keep in mind that the cave look is not going to be the same with the sprites. This is just temporary and for testing purposes only. I still gotta dedicate some time and figure out how I want the cave to look like with the sprites, like the inner walls of the caves and all of that. But so now, and by art I mean like the art set for the caves. I don't know if I want it to be like with this sprite sheet or if I want it to be different. But other than that, this is what I've been working on so far with the cave. You got some particles going around. I probably can add maybe more but smaller particles so it can be more like debris and all of that. But it's cool. I like the fog effect that's in the corner. I probably will need to tweak it a little bit more because when I move you can see like it's like the fog is kind of like following you or whatever. I don't know if I like that, or should the fog like shift and scroll like a parallax kind of thing. But you can see the fog is kind of like moving a little bit. I think it's a pretty good speed that it has right now, and I made it so that the center is actually less faded of opacity, so that you're able to see the player. Otherwise it's going to be fogged up here like crazy. So I made the center, so I have to update the shader so that the center will always be less foggy, so you can see the player a little bit more. And just messing with the bloom settings, with the pulse effects and all of that, just to make it look a little bit better. Yeah, and the other thing is adding these god rays. I really love how this god ray looks like right now. It just looks like it's coming in from the outside, right? And it's kind of like that light is coming into the cave. So I was trying to mess around with that, getting the colors in a good place. And I really love how it looks in the bottom. It looks like it's like animating in the bottom, but cool. That's basically what I have. And the other ones, what I found out more about this animation tree is that I'm able to have this cool. I didn't know about that at all. Before I was using the, what was it called? I think it was an animation note state machine. I think it was that I was using before, but I ended up finding this version of the animation tree, which was actually, I didn't know there was such a thing like this before. And I ended up changing it to this because this makes it look similar to how Unreal does it. If you guys ever done Unreal and animations and all that with the blend trees and their nodes, and it's basically similar to this. So I ended up changing to this because it made more sense to me. So you basically have this base locomotion right here, which is a state machine, which just has the idle, walk, and any actions that the player is going to do. By do action, I mean like if the player is going to do an action of tilling the soil, watering the can. Actually, I can go in there. So tilling the soil, which is going to be a hoe, a watering can, or it's going to be fishing. And this will spit out whatever state that it's going to be for the player, for the animation, for the base locomotion. But now you have another one where the player's going to be holding an item. So for temporary, like for right now, is when I showed you with the torch. So when you make the torch active and the player's going to be holding the torch, it will use this state node, this hold item locomotion that I have here. And this is possible by having this blend tree, blend node, I should say. When this value is 0, I mean, with this value, the blend value is at 0, it will choose the first one that's on the first connection, which is the base locomotion. When this is at 1, it would then use the other one, the other state machine, which is the hold item locomotion. So I use this value to determine what I actually want to use. So when I'm holding an item, I switch this blend node to be at 1, and when I'm not holding any items, it will set it to 0. And with this, it will choose which animation it's going to be using and sending it to the output, which then is what you're going to be seeing out here. But I really love this animation tree a lot better than the other one that I had before. Before it was just doing this stuff. And initially I had this other ones that were connecting to other things too, right? That were connecting to this one that's in here, and it started getting very convoluted, and I just didn't like it. But this is, but doing this makes it a little bit more cleaner. You know exactly what this is. This is going to be for a hold item, and then this one's going to be for base locomotion and all of that. So I changed it to this, and I think this is what I'm gonna keep. So every time I'm at it, so here I'll also most likely going to be changing the do action to another node out here as well, just because I think that should be a little bit more cleaner. The base locomotion, I just want it to be just idle and walk, and maybe, I don't know, yeah, I'll eventually want to add the sprinting. I will also add it in here as well. And I also changed it because I just learned a little bit more about this as well. So in order how you change it to different states in here is by doing this expression. Initially I was doing this, but then my code started getting a little bit more convoluted as well. Let me show you a little bit, because in the constants, and I still have it here actually, I commented all out. This section started getting kind of crazy about all of the conditions that it had. So it initially had all of this. I should probably just delete all of this stuff right now because I'm not using it anymore. I had to switch it over and use the expression section instead. And this do action is basically a boolean that I have in the GD script. And in here I have all of the stuff, the booleans that I have. So I have the do action, all the other states that it's going to be doing for the watering can and idles, transitions, and all of that. And all of that is already being handled. So I don't have to. So if it's moving or if it's not moving, which is cool, you can do the not symbol here, which is actually pretty awesome. I don't have to have two different variables for that like I did in here with the previous state machine node, because I had to have an idle and I had to have a is moving condition, so I had to have two different variables for it, and I didn't like that. With this version of it, I can actually tell it what kind it is with the boolean, and this expression is going to be checking this GD script and checking to see if this variable is true or not, and it will tell it to transition to a new state if it should transition to a new state. But yeah, so I made some modifications to the animation tree. I think this is a lot better than I had before. I think that's about it. That's basically all the updates. They're not too crazy. A little bit more technical, a little bit, but feel free to post in the comments if you got some questions, any feedback, anything that you guys want to talk about. Or, you can join my Discord. We could talk about it there as well. But I think that's basically what I've been working on so far. It's very minor stuff, but there was, changing the animation tree structure and how it actually works to this updated version. And it took a little bit more time just because I was learning a little bit more and how that works and just basically getting that into speed. But cool, I am liking this a lot better. And then the next thing that I would like to work on is going to be the AI for this game. Just let me talk about it a little quick because the video is getting super long now. I'm trying to figure out how I want the AI to work. So right now, I'm gonna have this guy now. So this guy's this little ball looking slime character here. That's gonna be what I'm using for AI. I'm not saying that I'm gonna keep this in the end. Who doesn't like slimes in 2D games, right? But this is what I'm gonna use for testing purposes for AI. This little guy right here. So initially I have it white just because I can have different colors for this character if I ever wanted to, like with the shader. So I gotta figure out how I want to implement the AI here. If I want to use state machines or blend trees. I was looking into the ASLib here. So there's two different versions that I've looked at. The one is called Beehive. I think it's called Beehive. Behave. There we go. So the Behave here is basically how behavior trees work. I'm very familiar with how this works because I've done behavior trees in Unreal. If you guys have seen those videos of me work the FPS extraction shooter that I was doing, I was working behavior trees there for the AIs. And so this is one of them that I have here, and the other one that I also learned recently, I think it's called Limbo AI. But this has behavior trees and state machines. I don't know if the other one has state machines, but I can choose either this one or the other one. I will read a little bit more on what they do. This is an open source C++ module. Ooh, okay. I wonder if I can implement stuff in C++ too. I don't know how deep I want to have it when it comes to C++ or things in GD script. I try to, when I'm working on this project, I try to push things more into C++ side, unless it's super easy, something like an easy, like the logic that I'm working on is super easy, and then I'll just keep it in GD script. Lately I've been trying to keep it away from GD script just because it's easier for people to, like, you know, to hack in and change stuff, right? I'm not saying that C++ you cannot do that, but it's a little bit more difficult. But I don't know if I care about it when it comes to NPCs. Maybe I can do, people can do, what do you call those? When people are able to mod your game, maybe they can add their own AIs in here or whatever. Not their own AIs, but just be able to add their own implementations in here for future support, mod support or whatever. I'm not saying that I'm gonna have that, but I would like to start thinking about that as well if I ever do decide to want to have that. So all of these things that I'm trying to think right now is just figuring out how I want the AI. If I just want just state machines only, or do I want behavior trees? And if I do choose behavior trees, I'll have to either choose the limbo AI or the behave. So I'm gonna read up a little bit more on them and see which one would be the best for me to use. But yeah, so as I'm implementing this, I would like to start thinking about making sure that they're modular, so they're easy to swap things around, if anything, and making it so that the enemy AI logic works with the NPCs as well, so there isn't any redundancy, any like duplicated code or anything. So these things, like, these are like the two major things that I would like to keep in there in mind when working on this, and making sure that, you know, everything's going to be looking good and I can reuse the code if anything. Yeah, that's basically my thought right now. I will jump into more details when the next video comes in with the AI, and then after AI, once I have AI in there with the we'll have enemies in there, I can start adding like character attacks and tools like weapons and all of that. But cool. So another thing to think about is figuring out how I'm going to be laying out the spawners for the NPCs. And since this is a procedurally generated world, it's going to be a little bit difficult, right? Just trying to figure out where the spawners should go and all of that. I've been thinking about how, because when you create this procedure generated world, you use this noise values in order to determine what exactly this tile is going to have. So I made some updates and so that I can visually see these values. So if I were to clear the map, generate a new one, it's going to take a little bit because it actually creates the values as well. So in here, you can actually see the noise values that each tile has, and that's the noise value that determines what exactly it's going to be in this location. So you can notice that, like, from point 2 to point 3, and maybe even 4 to point 4 are grass. You can notice that point 1 to point 2 is actually water. From point 5, maybe I'm gonna say point 6 to point 7, it's gonna be dirt, and from point 8 and above, it's gonna be these caves stuff, right? This hills that you have here, and there's some areas that you can see that is point 8 or not, but with the logic that I have, it decided to choose a dirt instead, since it uses the dual tile to determine what exactly that tile is going to be. I forgot what it's called, something dual tile or whatever. Also, yeah, so from point to point 9 is that. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to be using this to determine if what exactly is going to be in here. As you know, this is laid out in chunks as well, so there's 9 different chunks in here. 3 at the top, right? 3 in the center, and 3 at the bottom. So it's a 3x3 grid, or 3x3 chunks, grid chunks, whatever you want to call it. So each grid has its own noise values already set up. So what I'm thinking is that each grid will handle the spawners as well. So each grid knows exactly, will know if a spawner is available there or not. If I go into my chunk tile map, this is the struct for this, for that chunk, you know, for this, for one of the chunks, and it has the noise map for it that I can use to determine. So in here, probably you can have spawners or whatever, and it's gonna tell me if there's a spawner in this chunk or not, and if there isn't, then add a spawner if possible. And I say if possible because this entire chunk also can just be water, right? So the only thing that I can have there is just fish or whatever. But each chunk will be responsible for having a spawner in here. So I think that's one way that I can think about doing it. I'm still trying to think about how I want these spawners to look like. Oops, sorry. But I can use this values. Maybe I can use these as elevation values as well, and be able to determine if I should have a spawner there or not. And also making sure there isn't too many spawners, right? Yeah, it's all of this stuff that I gotta start thinking about and how I want it to work. So I'll keep that in mind as I'm working on this, and I'll elaborate a little bit more in the next video. But basically that's about it, guys. That's basically about it. The next thing is to make this level a little bit more, to bring more life into it, right? Because it's very desolate. There's nothing here. It's just you're alone, and it's time to start bringing stuff into here. So I think I'm in a good spot to start doing that. But cool, that's about it, guys. I don't want to make this video any more longer, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was very, not too crazy updates, but I did go a little bit more technical, just a bit about how these updates that I added since the last video, how it works and all of that, with all the actions and new animations that I added in that AnimationTree Updates. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, feel free to like it, and if you haven't subscribe if you want, so that you can see future videos from me. And not only that, but it also helps me and helps the YouTube algorithm to show more my stuff to other people. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have a great, wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time. Signing out, guys. Signing out.